I'm in the car driving, which I'm technically not really supposed to do, but hey, it's relatively safe. Happy Blue Friday to all you 12s up there, Seahawks fans, and everybody else who may be watching right now. I'm just heading down 405 South here on the east side of Lake Washington. Just drove by back there, the Seahawks practice facility, the VMAC. What's up, Jesus Christ? What's going on? That name cracks me up. Justin Bauer, the pro, Sean Durr, David Sherian, Justin Bauer. Have I heard of Marysville? I've been to Marysville, up north. Yes, absolutely. What you know good, Norv, says David. I gotta be careful, I gotta drive, not watch the screen, so. I've been good. Joey, how you doing? I just thought I'd call. I'm back, had a little lunch meeting earlier, so I'm just back heading home. And thought I'd just turn on the phone here, just chat with whoever might be on. Bored, nothing to do at 1:50 in the afternoon on a Friday, Pacific Coast time. Yes, I did hear about the Seahawks. Big news. Seahawks playing the Oakland Raiders in October. I think October 14th in the fall. I am early. I'm excited about that. I'm working on trying to go to that game because it's the first time Seahawks have ever played in the UK. I was just there in England last year for a few days. Got to see Adele in her final concert for at least a while in Wembley Stadium. 100,000 something people out there. It's crazy. And I got to see a little bit of the sights of London. It's pretty cool. Seahawks 12-4 next year. We'll see. This is definitely one of the most interesting off seasons we're about to embark on. Just with all the coaching turnovers. Obviously, we've lost 2 coaches already, possibly more on the way. And who we get next will be interesting. Joey wants to know, who do I think should be the offensive coordinator? That's a good question. I know the name Shula comes up, former OC of the Panthers. And that's the thing. It's like, who do you want to have to replace your coaches? I mean, what do we really know about offensive coordinators? What do we even know about our own offensive coordinator? We're not in those rooms, so we don't really know how these things work, who does what. All we do is see the results and go, he's good or he sucks. So it seems like everybody else's cast-offs end up on somebody else's team. It's one big sort of integrated, interwoven circle of players that just hop, or coaches that just jump from one carousel to the next. These guys get fired, and then he gets hired over here, kind of like kickers. So, I mean, I'm going to figure we're going to get some coordinator from some other team, or I guess they pull somebody from the college rankings and get somebody in there, to try to fill in the shoes, some young blood that might have some innovative coaching. But I don't know enough about the guys that are out there. I've seen a few names that have popped up that are intriguing. Try to do some research on that, but all I know, I don't know necessarily who's the best one to get, but I do know we need to get somebody who can figure out how to get a run game going. It doesn't have to be a great run game, it's just got to get somebody who can run the ball and at least get close to 100 yards, or at least 75 to 100 yards on the ground, and his name not be Russell Wilson. Okay, we get that, and I think our offense will be in darn good shape because the rest of it will take care of itself. But as I've said many times, I think we're gonna have to find a new big wide receiver, because I don't think Jimmy Graham's gonna be back. Not because I don't want him there. I'd love to have him back, but I just don't think the price is gonna be right. And then we got to get, our question is our running back actually, somebody future running back of next year? Is it somebody who's already on the team now, or is it somebody we've got to draft? That may be one of these college studs is going to be coming up in this spring's draft. It's going to be very interesting to see where Seattle goes. Joey wants to know, what would we pick for position number 1? Wow, boy, says Mike Davis is good enough. Here's what's funny about running backs like Mike Davis, because when he came out and started doing what he did in that first game that we saw him in, I want to say that was the wasn't the Atlanta game. It was the one before that. It was against, I can't remember when he made his debut now. I'm kind of spacing which game it was at. But he came out and it almost felt like we had been so starved of a run game that he just did something. And all of a sudden we felt like it was the second coming of beast mode. And I don't think we're overselling the fact that he did some really good things. But I think it's funny that if you look at his stats, he hasn't really done anything that spectacular. But because we're so hungry for something that, you know, if you're starving, as the old Eddie Murphy joke went, if you're starving and somebody throws you a cracker, like, that's the best damn cracker I've ever had. Give me some more, you know. But then you realize, you know, he's maybe just like plain old crackers. So I don't know really how good he is because we've only seen little bits and it really hasn't been that great. It's just relative to what we've had. You know, anything greater than nothing is something. But Chris Carson, you know, the question is, when he comes back from injury, will he be the same guy who tore it up for 4 games to start the year? Because he was really good, legitimately on a good pace. Just a shame when that injury happened when it did. But we still haven't seen enough. 4 games isn't enough to declare a guy your starting running back. And then look what happened to Thomas Rawls after he got hurt. Guy came back and never was the same for whatever reason. So, but there's no harm in keeping Chris Carson and Mike Davis in the conversation because it's not going to really cost us anything much to keep them around, so we might as well have them in the conversation. But I think we got to get more in next year's draft. But David Hederscheit, I think beefing up our O-line will increase our running back productivity. Well, I would like to think so. It all starts with the O-line. And they're going to have to address that early on in the draft and possibly free agency as well. I still do wonder, you know, you see all these changes going on and you kind of run through these hypothetical situations. What if you took our 5 guys and just swapped them completely with the Patriots? Would the Patriots suddenly be losing 5 yards a carry? Will they suddenly have minus, you know, 5 yards to start the first half of a playoff game? Or would their system and their coaching staff get more out of them? Oh, I got your pronunciation right. Thank you, David. You know, it makes you wonder, just the same way that, or is it really that the talent's that bad and we really needed new guys in there? Because the fact that we are getting rid of the coaches means that the thought processes, the process from the owner to the head coach to general manager is that our coaches weren't getting it done. Change needed to be made, and it needed to be made at the coaching position. Which makes me think maybe that they do feel like the talent isn't as bad as it may appear, and maybe they feel like the players just need a different coach, a different system. That are also going to just level the entire thing and dump everybody and start completely from scratch. If that's the case, we're looking at a total rebuild, and we might as well forget about having any kind of a winning record next year. It's my only fear. So if you're blowing the whole thing up, you know, that's the risk you run. You know, long term might be the right solution if you really do have a serious problem at the root of the offense. But we have Russell Wilson, and he's always going to give us a fighting chance to be in contention every year. But where we are with the line and the running game, to me, determines the future of the. So hopefully they can get it, and it doesn't have to be outstanding. Like I said, it doesn't have to be, you know, 150 yards a game. Like I said, if we can even get close to 70 consistent yards from the running back position, 75 to 100 a game, that's not even great. That's just pretty good. But pretty good would make our offense excellent if with all things being equal. So it's not a lot to ask, is it? 75 to 100? Come on now. Bobby Shane, listen, what's a Blue Friday? Apparently you're not a Seahawks fan. Every Friday is Blue Friday for Seattle Seahawks fans. Somebody asked, is this even legal? Is it the question of, you mean having the camera on while I'm driving? Probably not. There's probably a cop tracking me right now. He's going down Highway 169. Let's get him. He's broadcasting live, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. But I'm almost home, so I thought I'd be able to escape this, assuming I don't get into a wreck or anything. Somebody says, Blue Friday is Blue Friday. I'm blurry now. What the heck? Well, I look good to me. I look damn good right now. Is it wearing Seahawks clothes? I said Blue Friday is wearing Seahawks clothes on Friday. Well, that's part of it. Part of it is, you know, you wear your Seahawks swag. But it's a mindset. It's a mentality that this is our day. Friday is a Seahawks day. Proudly exclaiming your fandom for this team, even if it's not in the playoffs for the first time in 6 seasons, unfortunately, and all that. I got to promote in 2.5 hours exactly at 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. I will be doing a Ask Norb session with 2 special guests, Philadelphia from the Philadelphia Eagles fans, and David in Atlanta, both who I've collaborated quite a bit over the years, since those 2 teams have one of the best matchups of this divisional weekend. I'm going to have those 2 characters on to talk about their teams and see who believes their team is going to win this weekend. So it's going to be fun to get those 2 together. First time Skyping 2 people at the same time. I have no idea if this is going to work. It should, but you never know until you actually do it. But I also will be taking calls, and you guys can call in and ask questions of me or Delia or David or both. So it'll be fun. 2.5 hours. Join me at that time. So looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm, of course, disappointed that my team is not in the mix. Should have been, but just wasn't our year. Just was not our year. Waboy says, you would be a great commentator for the Seahawks. Oh, thank you. That would be a lot. That would be a fun opportunity. I enjoy having gone from not doing this at all to suddenly finding myself trying to do my best play-by-play commentator voice. It's a lot of fun. I'll probably never get an opportunity like that in any kind of formal capacity, but I'm plenty happy being able to do this for you guys on my little YouTube platform, where I can say whatever the heck I want to say to a certain degree and not have to be told what I got to do. I just do it because I enjoy it, and you guys seem to enjoy it for some reason. So Jalen wants to know, how long have I been doing YouTube? I first started posting some videos back in, I want to say 2011. But I didn't really start doing NorbCam on this type of level until 2013, the season they went to the Super Bowl. I actually I did my first reaction video in a game in November when we played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we had a 20-0 comeback, down 20-0 at the half, came back against the winless Buccaneers that year and won 21-20. Is that right? Actually, I can't remember the final score. If it was 21-20 or 24-23. We won by 1, I think, with a field goal in overtime. And I recorded my reaction because I thought this would be cool. It's history in the making. So I posted that, and that's kind of where it all started. I just had no idea people would actually enjoy watching me watching the game, which is pretty funny. So that's where it all began. So yeah, so it's been, you know, going on 4 years. Hey, Nita in prayer. We need a prayer as in Spokane. What's happening? Rise Gale, Nord. What are your thoughts on what's the problem with this? It's hard to read. It doesn't stay alone. Seahawks coming over to the UK. Being a Seahawks fan of the UK, I think it's great. I'm glad that the Seahawks game in England is an away game, because I'd be kind of pissed if they made that a home game, and that would have been selfishly one game less I would get to see in our home field. But they didn't, so I'm fine with that. I think it's cool, I guess. I'm trying to think, do I like this that we're playing there? I think it's fantastic for the fan base. I think it's good for, you know, for the game to be seen in other countries, to be, you know, have fans over there, which I know there's a lot of. I know personally a lot of fans over in Europe who are friends of mine, who would die at every opportunity to see the Seahawks in person. So the fact that the game is coming over there, I think, is really cool. It'll be interesting to see what kind of home field advantage. It's supposed to be a home game for Oakland, but I feel like it's going to be a home game for Seattle. I could be wrong, but I know that the Seattle fan base is well represented in the UK. So I think that we may have, that might be one of those games where it's an away game, but it'll feel like a home game, which would be kind of cool for Seattle. So hopefully it results in a win. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to watch no matter what, just to see Seattle in a stadium we've never seen before. And will I be able to go? I would sure love to go to that game. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of planning so early in the year to try to see what works. And when you work for yourself, it's hard to it's hard to just reserve months in advance what I'm going to be doing, because sometimes the job, the nature of your own business, some things take precedence over others. But I'm going to do my very best to get out there somehow. So that would be a lot of fun. Having been there last year, it'd be great to go back again, this time with a Seahawks event to go to, a Seahawks game, just something that's never been seen before in the UK. So that'd be a heck of a lot of fun, for sure. What's up, Porter, Hamilton, Dana, go Hawks. What else? Yeah, so just, you know, it's been a strange season. I've been talking to friends of mine who have discussed, you know, what are some of the issues that have really been the problem with Seattle. And you could point your finger at a lot of different things. You could say it was the field goal kicker's fault. You could say it's the offensive line. It was the offensive coordinator or the offensive line coach. You could say it was injuries. But some people had an idea that maybe it's a problem with Pete Carroll as a college coach who comes into it with a sort of player's mentality, rah-rah style, and that older players, veteran players who aren't fresh out of college, don't respond to that type of coaching. I can see the truth to that, because when you think about the Seahawks when they had their prime seasons, this was in Pete Carroll's about fourth year in with the team, and that's when they had all the guys who are now all-stars, when they were still young, still in their rookie or early contracts, not making a lot of money, all trying to make a name for themselves. We had a quarterback who, you know, we got lucky in the draft. Let's admit it, we got lucky. Every team passed on Russell at least twice, including the Seahawks. And so we scored our franchise quarterback and had him at a steal of a deal for the first, well, when did he get his money? 2 years ago? So the first 12, 13, 14, 15, for the first 4 years, we got him at an extreme discount, allowing us to do things like have one of the most expensive offensive lines, to have depth after wave of depth at defensive line, have an all-star secondary and linebackers at a minimal cost, you know. But, you know, systems are meant to be that way. Great players become expensive, then they get older, and then you can't afford as many other people. So that's kind of where we're at now. We're at that point where we've got a lot of expensive guys, and, you know, let's face it, we look a little older, a little slower out there at times, and we're gonna have to start getting younger in some spots. And so, but yeah, is it something? Is it that Coach Pete Carroll's style, does that not translate into the NFL? Well, I guess we'll see. If they can bounce back from this year and rejuvenate this team and become competitive next year again, I think that says a lot about this coaching staff. If they struggle and have to go through a rebuild, well, maybe this is just a cycle. Maybe it's not a sustainable model, but we'll have to find out how they respond next year. Somebody asked what my job was. I have a film production company, so making videos while not making Seahawks videos is not necessarily my day job. I do make films and commercials, short films, marketing videos. I'm an editor, I'm a director, I'm sometimes a composer and a sound designer. I'll do a little bit of all that, and that's my day job. So doing Seahawks videos is an extension of that, but it's more of a passion thing until it can get to a point where it's so huge that you know, I can let everything else go. But for now, it's a labor of love. Just gonna keep doing it when I can. I keep seeing some messages about Bam Bam being gone. I have been in a meeting since late morning, and I'm starting to wonder, did I miss something on, or not get any Twitter information about something about Bam Bam that I don't know? I mean, I already knew that he was out with the injury for the season. Not surprised there, but is somebody confirm that Cam Chancellor is actually gone? So David says, I have not heard he's gone. I'm just starting to wonder if somebody's starting some kind of vicious rumor. I have not heard anything official about that. Retirement has been talked about for a while, though. So Sylvie says, have some goodies for me. I say, what? You will love them. Oh, I do like goodies. I'm very intrigued now. I'm almost to the end of my little drive here. So I was going to find out where I wanted to talk real quick before I sign off about this. While the season's over, NorbCam viewing parties are not completely over, because I am going to be hosting a Super Bowl viewing party at Emerald Downs Casino. So if you guys are from around the area, you guys are looking for a place to watch the Super Bowl, that would be a lot of fun and the potential to win some cool prizes and hang out with some fun folks. Come down to the Emerald Downs Casino. I'm going to be doing one final viewing party there to finish off the 2017-2018 season. So yeah, it's going to be great. So hope you guys will come, for those of you who are in the area. It's going to be a lot of, so I will see you there, Sylvie, it sounds like. Alex said that Bam Bam was on Twitter last night, that he's going well and nothing about being done or retiring. It was a Q&A. Okay. Well, that's positive, I suppose. No news is good news when it comes to retirement. I'd love to have Bam Bam back. I'm not counting on it just because I don't want to set myself up for disappointment, but I feel like you just never know with these neck injuries. It's not something you can mess around with. You can't just rehab your way out of that, you know, if there is a danger that something worse could happen. What do I think about the offensive line next year? Well, I feel like I've talked this to death, but I have a theory on how we could approach this that doesn't involve blowing the whole thing up. We get Dwayne Brown, sign him, left tackle. Then we keep Justin Britt at center. Then we take George Fant, who we lost to injury last year, but he comes back, put him at right tackle. Here's what I'm not sure about. Jermaine Ifedi. You know, it's not really costing us a lot of money to have him on the team right now, but is he costing us too much in penalties and inefficiencies to keep him on the team? I think if you are going to keep him, you slide him from the outside, put him in guard, on the right guard. That way he doesn't have to be quick on his feet on the right tackle position, and he can just be a little more protected on the inside. Maybe has a better chance of not getting killed when he's on the inside. And then we have to pick up draft or free agent guard on the left side, since I don't think Jokel will be back. So that's kind of my initial thought on how we can make the most out of who we've got and what holes we would need to fill. Because, I mean, really, what you can do, you can't just scrap the whole line and start fresh. You're not going to draft an entire line in the draft. You're not going to free agent sign a whole line. So you got to have some kind of plan. And I don't think everybody you want on who could be the future offensive line is on our team right now. So you have to do a little bit of mix. So that's my thought on it. We'll see if that has any merit at all, what happens next year. But that's one possible combination I could see possibly working. I do think we need a fullback too. We didn't have a fullback all year, and I think we've always had one, and I think we should have one back. And we need a number one receiver type if Jimmy Graham's not going to be back, because we're going to miss his productivity, whether you feel like he was a plus or not with our team. He scored a lot of touchdowns. So if he's gone, then we need some other big target to throw to. Cason Williams. Cason Williams. That's an interesting situation, because I remember after last preseason, we thought he was going to be the second coming of I don't know, Odell Beckham Jr. or something. And then he didn't. He got cut, and they went to the Cleveland Browns, and then the Cleveland Browns cut him. And you start to wonder, if a receiver can't even make the Cleveland Browns team and stay on there, something must be seriously wrong there. So I don't even know if he's even in the league right now, Cason Williams. But yeah, obviously there's more to him than what we saw on preseason Sundays. So I don't think we've got to get a solid number one receiver. Doug Baldwin's great in the slot, but he's not a number one type of guy. He's a great slot receiver and should stay there. So, those are just a few thoughts. There's plenty of other areas that need to get shored up on this team, but that's kind of the start of what needs to, needs to be addressed. So we'll talk about it more. It's going to be very interesting. Never a dull moment in the life of a Seahawks fan, but even this offseason in particular, it's going to be interesting from draft to free agency. It's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, I'm going to get going because I got to get ready for this. Little bit of work to do, and then get ready for the Skype showdown between Philadelphia and David in Atlanta. Jake Guerrero wants to know, am I going for the Pats? Yeah, right. Going for the Pats. I'm pretty much going for anybody but the Pats. I take that back. I want the Patriots to make it to the Super Bowl, just so they can lose in the most painful fashion. Does that make sense? Because there's nothing worse than making it to the Super Bowl and losing. All right, there's no points for second place. There's no concession to being in second place. And I don't ask the Falcons, ask the Seahawks, ask the Buffalo Bills. Hey, doesn't it feel okay though that at least you made it to the Super Bowl and you got second place? That's pretty good. Nope, no consolation whatsoever. It's actually worse. It's actually probably worse to make it to the Super Bowl and lose than to just sort of be out, because really it's never any better when you don't make it all the way, because, look at the Rams. Hey, we won the division, yeah! Boom, dead, one and done. It's like, okay, so you played for an extra week, and then you look like garbage, and then you're out of the playoffs. Yeah, you guys are going to be competitive, but now as far as this season's concerned, yeah, you got the banner, but what did it get you? Lower draft pick. That's about it. Didn't look good doing it either. But yes, you guys are back. David with the complicated last name, Hederscheit. But we'll see what next year looks like. 49ers, maybe the real deal with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. We'll see. One thing's for sure, that's got to be one of the best looking guys I've seen on a football field in a long time. Dude looks straight out of a L.A. Hollywood set, doesn't it? He reminds me of, for those old school people out there watching, it reminds me of Christopher Reeve, the old Superman. He has that look about him. Tall, dark, handsome. I'm just saying, from one guy to another, out of pure respect. The dude looks like a model. Which would be that much more fun knocking him over. But we'll see. I mean, everyone's ready to, 49er Nation ready to, get ready for another 5 Super Bowl rings run after seeing him play for 5 games. Granted, he's been good, but, you got to see a whole season's work before you can make that assumption. But it's definitely going to make for a much more competitive, fun NFC West to watch next year. So, we'll see. We'll see. All right, got to get going. So don't wait too long. We'll see you guys in less than an hour and a half. Is that right? Or 2.5? 2 hours and a half at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Come join the chat. You can call in too. All right. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching this brief little ride along with NorbCam. And I will see you guys in a couple hours. Go Hawks.